Who here has played a Final Fantasy game? If you have, I would like to say, kill yourself. No, I'm just kidding. Don't really know where that came from, but if you have, I'm kind of wondering how old you are, because most of the people I know, at least in my real life, that have played Final Fantasy, like 4 out of 5 of them are at least 30 years old. Like, there's this one dude that I met who was around like 40, went to prison in the desert or something, had some bass, long hair. You could just see the aura coming off him. He looked like he could kill you with just his pinky. But he was just like me, a big nerd who likes video games, anime, and money. We were working at the same Taco Bell. Some interesting times, definitely. Growing up, I've pretty much played the same 2 games all my life, like Minecraft and some Call of Duties, like Black Ops 2. I guess most recently, the only time I've stepped out of my comfort zone was Breath of the Wild when it came to trying out new games and stuff. That was one of the craziest games I've got to experience. Maybe not crazy, it's just super fun. Other than that, I guess there's Roblox, Rocket League, and Fortnite. But the reason I decided to finally break down and play Final Fantasy was because this one chick, yes, a girl, I worked with this one chick who seemed to really like it. I mean, I could see just how passionate she was about it, and it just made me want to try it out too, you know? So, started playing Final Fantasy VII, the remake. The graphics were pretty cool. The story was, sort of interesting to me. So, I started playing, and then I stopped. And then I started playing again, and then stopped. And, I'd take like 2-week breaks from it, and then come back to it. So, I had a very segmented playthrough. Took me like, I started around December, and it took me until either May or June to finally get to the Sephiroth boss fight, which I still haven't beat yet, and I don't think I will ever beat. I'll get to that later. My expectations when I got into this, I don't really know what I was expecting. I saw the steampunk cover art on the design for the game. I thought it was to be super futuristic, I guess. I mean, it definitely is that. It's definitely a setting I haven't seen before. When I saw Cloud, I was like, this guy, he looks like very anime. Very okay, that's the cringiest thing I've ever said. But I mean, just the hair, like he's really rocking it, ain't he? Did I have any other expectations for it? Not really. But the story, I mean, it's probably the biggest focus on, I feel like, why you're playing this game. The gameplay is obviously intertwined with that, because it's a game, duh. But the story is, I feel like, a pretty good one, actually. It's about this group called the Avalanche terrorists, very small group rising up against this Shinra, big corporation, big pharma, extracting Mako from the earth, life energy, whatever. And it's, I guess you could kind of look at it as like something like oil, and they're destroying the earth, but they're trying to make it sell it to, well, not sell it, but try to make it look like they're the good guys, which they do a very good job of doing. And they are bad guys, and Cloud is good guy, same with the Avalanche. I was the characters, I feel like I should go way deeper into this, but I'm so tired, man. I should just go to bed. I got work in like 5 hours too, so I guess spoiler warning. I'm trying to think, like, my favorite parts of the story. I guess Cloud sort of just becoming more, over time, Cloud definitely becomes a lot more comfortable with his whole team, or kind of breaks out of his shell, even if only a little bit. My favorite character, either Cloud or what's her name? There's Tifa, and then there's Aerith. Either Cloud or Aerith. Well, no matter what, Aerith is the best girls ever. I kind of watched a whole recap of what goes down in the original Final Fantasy VII, the 1990 whatever one. And so I know how the story plays out, and just seeing like how complex, like the twist with Cloud and everything, and then seeing how Cloud, sort of grows into this whole new person with that, I thought that was some pretty fire writing. And also the whole thing with Aerith, I thought, that is very tragic. I definitely feel like there are a whole bunch of themes I'm probably missing out on by not looking into everything super deeply and analyzing each character super well. But, for the most part, I just kind of looked at everything on the surface. This is my first Final Fantasy game, so I was like, why not just kind of see the vibe of everything, and that's something I really came to appreciate was Midgar, this whole world that we're in. You know, you got trash lying around, trash heaps, junk everywhere. These slums, the Sector 7 slums, all these different sectors you go through. As you progress through the story, you really see this world of Midgar. There's so much character to it, and like each different sectors, and each one just has their own vibe. It's definitely added a lot to everything, I'll say that. I forgot at what point. It was probably after I left just even the Sector 7 slums near the beginning of the story, where I just stopped trying to explore everything and just focused mainly on trying to get through the story, because I knew it was already taking me forever. But for the most part, it was a pretty cool experience to go through this new world and kind of look through it. I definitely like that part, I'll say that. The gameplay, you know, it's very different from something like Rocket League or Call of Duty. You know, you're not just going around shooting people, or you're not going around building houses or something. I'd like to say it's more complex than really anything I've played. You got like this whole combat system where you could switch between different characters, and they all have their own powers, and you could, you know, you level up people. I think this is like, do you think Breath of the Wild is an RPG? I mean, I guess it is, but like this is, well, I guess Breath of the Wild is also a JRPG, but I think this is like the first JRPG, like that vibe of, you know, that JRPGs have. This is the first one I've played at least like that. Yeah, so it was definitely very different from anything I've ever played. Honestly, before this, I spent like the last 3 years before this just going on Call of Duty, loading into a game of zombies, and, you know, just trying to survive to crazy high rounds. What was my favorite part of the gameplay, and what was my least favorite part of the gameplay? Honestly, I kind of had a I don't have that. I had a attention span of a gnat while playing this, so that honestly probably explains why I really put it on and off while having my first playthrough of this. But I think, you know, the gameplay, I was definitely not used to it. You gotta like run around, jump over, you know, dodging, blocking, whatever. It's just way different than anything I've played. You know who I did hate playing as? Definitely hated playing as Barrett. Oh my god. I don't like using his weapons at all, and I feel like he's so weak, and that's one thing during like certain sections where you're like having to shoot sentries drones, or like these drones out the sky. You have to switch to Barrett in order to even be able to hit them, and I was so sad because I really don't like using his guns and stuff. And I mean, he's a very flamboyant character. Rest in peace, the Fire Hashira. But he's a very flamboyant character, and definitely some big macho guy, but also has a soft spot for his daughter, and really hates Shinra and people doing wrong things and stuff. Like, he's a very straightforward guy, and there might be some sort of beauty to that if you compare him with Cloud, who's sort of this mysterious. Honestly, the whole time at the beginning, just seeing Cloud, how he interacted with everyone, how he was just so cold to people and just stayed silent all the time, I was like, this dude's an asshole. You really are. Like, if someone was acting like that in real life, I'd be a little worried and pretty scared. Like, I mean, I guess Cloud, he is pretty cool, but I feel like there are certain characters that really pull off the whole stoic archetype and stuff, but when everyone around you is like so giddy and happy and has like this high energy or just a friendly energy, then you get this stoic guy, you know, it kind of just makes you look like an asshole if you're all quiet and stuff. That's what I thought anyways. But that was the nice part about this, is that he does open up to everybody, and definitely, it doesn't show it a whole lot, but he definitely becomes a lot friendlier with everyone. Yeah, I guess the gameplay, getting back to that, honestly, I'm not really gonna go and break down the whole system or whatever, because my brain is not functioning. The worst fight, one of the fights I hated the most, was definitely the Hell House. I feel like that's one of the parts where things definitely amped up a bit. You know, you really had to lock in. And I remember I was talking to that one girl about how I just beat the Hell House, and she was telling me something yada yada yada, that she when she was fighting this, she was trying to platinum the game, which I could only imagine, because I think I tried putting it on whatever the easiest mode is and I still got whooped. She was trying to platinum the game, and she said when she was trying the Hell House, she would literally like have to take a break because she was so mad or something. And I was like, dude, I thought that was so funny. But yeah, I was pretty frustrated. I won't lie, there were a couple times during my playthrough where I had to kind of look up how to beat certain bosses, like the Hell House, you know, figuring out the colors of the windows and stuff. Like my brain is made for blasting some guy's head off. Okay, no, pot. Wait. That makes me sound like a school shooter. I won't lie. My brain was made to play Call of Duty and build dirt houses in Minecraft. Okay, it would have taken me way too long to figure out how to beat the Hell House if I didn't go and look it up. And I had to do that with a couple of bosses, whatever, like Reno. Like the first time I beat that dude, I think that is actually my favorite fight, the first time we versed Reno. But you have to like block against him or something, and you know, you can't just go outright crazy. You can't go sicko mode on him. You gotta be a bit more strategic, and you know, that's one of the cool things about this Final Fantasy is the gameplay. You definitely have to be pretty strategic. You have to sort of think a little bit, and if you can't think, then you gotta use all 90 potions you just bought, like I did just about every fight. I'm so bad, I won't lie. There were a lot of times where I used like 40 potions just to beat a boss. It was so bad, but I got through it. Okay, that's all that matters. I was doing awesome, having fun. That's all that truly matters. And I was beating bosses left and right. It may have taken me like 6 months, but man, I was on a roll. But near the end, I was like, okay, I'm finally locking in. I'm finally gonna beat this game. My attention span may be that of a gnat, but I'll finally get through the rest of the story. So I forgot, it was like chapter maybe 15 I started at, and then a couple days I got to chapter 18 or 19, whatever. Right at the end of the final chapter, I beat the Arbiter of Fate, and then Sephiroth came. Finally. I've heard a little bit about him. I've heard his theme. He looks pretty cool, I won't lie. Very Sigma, very Alpha Sigma, werewolf, goth, sad boy, Bart Simpson, sad at it looking type fella. But he looked awesome, and really long sword. His theme is pretty sick. But let me tell you, when I say this dude pisses me off, he really does. Not because of his fight specifically, but because when you get to the very ending fights with the Arbiter of Fate and Sephiroth, the thing is that after you die, at least to my knowledge, your checkpoint is before the Arbiter of Fate fight. So if you beat the Arbiter of Fate and then die to Sephiroth, you have to beat the Arbiter of Fate again. And I only tried it once. I don't even want to say it. Whatever. I have no more dignity. I used like 70 potions to beat the Arbiter of Fate, which was all my potions, and then I go into the Sephiroth boss fight, and I like take away a quarter of his health bar. He goes into like different phases or whatever, and then I lose. I am defeated and frustrated and sad and disappointed in myself. And so then I decided to quit right then and there and not touch Final Fantasy VII again. And I've started playing Final Fantasy X, which I haven't touched in like 2 months. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep playing Final Fantasy X. I heard the story's really good. I kind of like the vibe it has going for it. It's the combat really isn't for me. The gameplay, like combat. I did buy BioShock, the Batman series games, and some Assassin's Creed games that eventually I want to play and make some videos on. But you know, that'll be for later in the future. But yeah, pretty. I've had a weird experience with Final Fantasy VII. I do like some of the characters. Definitely like the story. I think I watched Super Eyepatch Wolf's story or video about Final Fantasy VII, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a masterpiece in the gaming world. But it's old, so you know, I don't really know. I guess thank you to the girl that actually got me playing this. Would I play it again? Probably not. Maybe if they had a multiplayer where I could just pull out a DSR 50 360 no scope Sephiroth, or maybe crank some 90s on them or something. Well, like when I'm in the Sephiroth fight. Just throw some chug splashes on me, please. And yeah, it was, I guess, all in all, I liked it. Let's give it 7 out of 10 arrows. But yeah, that's it. That's it. And that's the end of the video. If you like this, leave a like, and might actually upload more. If you don't really know what I do, I make videos on anime, manga, all the nerdy stuff, and also video games. I guess music here and there too, but I don't know. I'm tired. I'm gonna go catch some Z's now, so yeah, see you in the next one. Have a good day or night, and fuck you, Sephiroth. I can't pronounce his name, Sephiroth.